Imagine waking up one day and realizing that you are not human. Matter of fact, everything about you, your looks, your personality, your whole relationship, and everything about your life is completely made up. And even your feelings that you have for that special someone, they're all programmed. Nothing's real. And that's exactly what happens to the main character in Companion, the movie directed and written by Hancock. Before I go into any details, I will make this quick for those of you just looking to see if you want to see the movie or not. The short answer is yes. I think this movie is an easy watch, and generally I think people will enjoy it. Just know going into it that this is not a horror movie, and I don't think it's a thriller. Really, I would say it's more of like a dark comedy with some underlying messages about technology and gender roles, specifically in relationships. With all that said, this movie does have a really high score on Rotten Tomatoes, and while I don't think it's a bad movie by any means, I just don't think it has that wow factor to make it an amazing movie. But anyways, without spoiling the movie, the story is all about Iris, who is a female robot companion who realizes what she actually is, and she tries to escape her controlling toxic relationship. As you can see from the trailers, there are murders that happen in the movie, so it does get a little exciting, but it's a pretty simple movie, so there's no crazy plot twist or anything insane that really happens. It's really easy to follow through, and thank God it's only an hour and a half. Honestly, I appreciate when movies are a little bit shorter, because nowadays the normal is like 2 to 3 hours long, and that's just a big time commitment. So I really appreciate that they were able to fit this story within like an hour and a half or so. Iris is played by Sophie Thatcher, and her boyfriend, Josh, is played by my boy, Huey, Jack Quaid from The Boys. Honestly, these two are big highlights of the movie. On one hand, you have Iris, who is a really easy character to root for, and you just want her to win no matter what happens. And on the other hand, you have Josh, who honestly just sucks. This character is so easy to hate because we've all known a Josh or two in our lifetime, and no one likes them. They're just mean, sad people. But honestly, great job on the acting, because both of these characters were just perfect. So there are some sad themes in this movie, in particular to gender roles and how men treat women in relationships, essentially implying that women are just there to serve a purpose for very, very sad men like Josh, and then expected to not have any feelings of their own. Exactly like a robot. Which is where this movie loses me a bit, mainly because you have this really relatable topic of conversation, followed with some pretty upsetting scenarios, and then you follow that up by throwing in one-liners or just jokes that don't really hit. Don't get me wrong, there are chuckles here and there throughout the entire movie, but I can tell when a movie's not actually funny, and that's usually when there's a single person in the entire theater who is laughing at every single thing that happens, and they're the only one that's laughing. There were some horror aspects, and there were some thriller aspects, and like I just said, there were some comedy aspects as well. In the mix of all of that, that's where the tone got lost for me. And I don't know, I guess I just didn't know how I was supposed to feel the entire time. Like, am I supposed to laugh right now? Is this a serious moment? Like, what's going on? Either way, it had a good script with great acting, and to be honest, it was an entertaining movie. I did like that they threw in some interesting bits with technology and how humans are just obsessed with having everything at the control of their fingertips. Kind of like how the boyfriend needed to have this obsessive control over his robot companion person thing. So I see what the creators of the movie were trying to do with this, and they did a good job at leaving little underlying messages about these topics. But again, this was just missing like that wow factor to take it from that good movie to this amazing film. I have already been asked if this movie is better than Megan, and honestly, they couldn't be more different from each other, so it's not even a fair comparison. So if you're going in thinking this is something like Megan, don't, because it's not that, like, at all. I'm gonna give this movie a 7 out of 10. Like I said, I think most people will enjoy the movie. It has a good script, and it is enjoyable and entertaining. The acting was great, honestly. Like, that was my favorite part of the movie. And, you know, there will be some chuckles here and there, but I just wish the movie had taken itself just a little bit more serious, or at least just had better jokes if that was the direction they wanted to go in. But you tell me, what do you think of the movie Companion?